मैं तो उम्मती हूँ ऐ शाहे उम्मम कर दे मेरे आका अब नजरे करम.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillahi wahdah, wa salatu wa salamu man la nabiyya ba'dah. Distinguished chairman, respected ulama, my considered judges and dear audiences. My today's topic is young generation should be free from drugs. So I would like to say something on this topic. Actually, Islam takes an uncompromising stand in prohibiting intoxicants, regardless of whether the amount is little or much. If an individual is permitted to take by a single step along this road, other steps follow. He starts walking, then running, and at last he doesn't stop at any stage. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, innama al-khamru wal-maysir wal-ansab, wal-azlamu rijsum min amali shaytan, fajtanibuhu la'allakum tuflihun. O you who believe, wine and gambling are an abomination of shaitan's handiwork. Avoid such abomination that you may prosper. Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 93. Besides that, the Prophet Muhammad said in this regard, of that which intoxicates in a large or small amount is prohibited. Reported by Abu Dawud, Tirmizi, and Musnad Ahmad. He again said, if a bucketful intoxicates, a sip of it is banned. Reported by Tirmizi, Abu Dawud, and Musnad Ahmad. The general rule in Islam is that any beverage that gets people intoxicated, whether the amount is little or much, is drugs, alcohol, fermented racing drinks, or something else. Drugs such as cannabis, cocaine, opium, and the like are definitely included the prohibited category of alcohol. It's well known that the use of such drugs affect the sensory perceptions, making what is near seem distant and what is distant seem near. That their use produces illusions and hallucinations, so that the real seems to be disappear and what is imaginary seems to be real. And that taking drugs in general impairs the faculty of reasoning and decision making. Such drugs are taken as a means of escape from the inner reality of one's feelings and outer realities of life and religion into the realm of fantasy and imagination. Added to the psychological effects are the physical effects, body lassitude, dullness of the nerve, and decline in overall health. The World Drug Report for 2016 shows that 230 million people around the world, 1 in 20 of us took illicit drugs. The report also says that drug users, mainly heroin and cocaine-dependent people, number about 27 million, roughly 0.7% of the world adult population. There's 1 in every 200 people. The report is published by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Corruption. Dear audience, every day in the United States die 114 people as a result of drug overdose, and another 6,748 are treated in emergency departments for the abuse of drugs. Nearly 9 out of 10 poisoning deaths are caused by drugs. The report is created by Malcolm F. Furthermore, the abuse of tobacco, alcohol, and illicit drugs is economically taxing to the United States, annually costing approximately $137 billion in direct healthcare expenses. 27% involved non-medical abuse of pharmaceuticals, 21% involved the use of illicit drugs, and 32% involved the use of alcohol. The report is published by 2 American research fellows, Andy Codgriff and Louisville. Dear audience, let's know the social fact of drug addiction. Actually, drug addiction makes some result. Actually, drug addiction causes stress such as the moral consequences, moral insensitivity, weakening of the willpower, as well as neglecting the responsibilities. Eventually, drug addiction weakens a person and makes him a diseased member of society. According to the United Nations statistics, 37,000 people in Africa die annually from diseases associated with the consumption of illegal drugs. The United Nations estimates there are 28 million drug users in Africa. The figure for the United States and Canada is 32 million. In Netherlands, with regard to gender, the reported lifetime prevalence of drug use in 34% among males and 21% among females. Dear brothers, let's listen to the social fact of drug addiction. Drug addiction may result in destruction of the family or even drive on to a life of crime. Since obtaining drug involves a great outlay of money, drug addiction may take its toll on the family budget, and even it may tempt the drug-addicted person to resort to legal means. Certainly, our today's young generation is the best example for it. Like Oshi, there are hundreds of students who have created their parents to give them money so that they can pay for drugs. Thus Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran in this respect, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَن يُوقِعَ بَيْنَكُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ فِي الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ وَيَصُدَّكُمْ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَعَنِ الصَّلَاةِ فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُنْتَهُونَ. Shaitan's plan is to sow enmity and hatred among you with intoxicants and gambling, as well as to hinder you from the remembrance of Allah. Will you not give up? Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 93. Dear listeners, whereas the Muslim jurists have said about drugs, they are really unanimous on prohibition of those drugs which were found during their respective times and places. For most among them, Ibn Taymiyyah who said solid grass and hashish is prohibited, whether or not it produces intoxications. Sinful people smoke it because they imagine it producing rapture and delight, an effect similar to drunkenness. Listeners, let's listen what the Islamic scholars have said about the effect of drugs. Ibn Hajar al-Muqin, whereas from some scholars, there are 120 harmful things occurred by this consumption of drugs. Not 10, not 20, but 120. Also, Ibn Sina, who is the father of medical science, said taking large amount of drugs dries up semen. Oh, how dangerous it is for a human body. Actually, while wine makes the person who drinks it active and quarrelsome, hashish produces dullness and lethargy. Moreover, smoking it disturbs the mind and temperament, excites sexual desire, and leads to shameless promiscuity. These are the greater evils than those caused by drinking. According to the Islamic law, the punishment for drinking wine and any sort of drugs, whether a little or much amount of it, is the same. Then there is 8 lashes. So, dear brothers, why drugs and intoxicants are so awful, foul, and vile in Islam? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has described 4 reasons. Number 1, all kinds of intoxicants are the key to all evils. Number 2, the head of all errors and lapses. Number 3, the most terrible for major sins. And number 4, the mother of all atrocities. Actually, Islam is the religion that protects and respects faith, life, property, and the mind. Normally, in our brain, there is an inhibitory control which tells us not to engage in shameful acts. Any suppressant drug will suppress the nerve pathways and take away such restraint. Ability to make a judgment, to protect the body or honor human quality is taken away under as a result of drug. Therefore, there is a pressing need to educate our young generation with Islamic education for keeping them free from drugs. If we can ensure their Islamic education, automatically they will refrain from drugs and all types of corruption. May Allah guide us to form a drugs-free generation. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَإِلَيْهِ أُنِيبُ. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
مرحبا.
मैं तो उम्मती हूँ ऐ शाहे उमम, कर दे मेरे आका अब नजरे करम।